Hi, ladies. I'm so excited for the first call in the More Than a Muse membership program. I'm beyond excited. I don't even know how to put it into words. But today we're going to be talking about body image and self-confidence. I'm recording this on my phone, so forgive me as I might experience some technical difficulties trying to figure out how to even use Zoom in the first place. But anyways, thank you for being here. And yeah, today's program is going to be all about body image and self-confidence. I chose to start the program with this topic because it's something that has kind of been a recurring theme in my life, and it's something that I've experienced time and time again, just struggles with body image and self-confidence. And it's similar to fitness and nutrition. That's why I'm including that in this month's theme because it's just something that keeps coming back. It's something that we're always going to have to address in our own lives. Maybe sometimes in our lives more than others, but I figured it was a good topic to start with because it's just so universal and we all kind of experience highs and lows within our self-confidence and our body image. So today I'm going to be sharing a presentation with you guys, and I'm just going to walk you through kind of my story and my advice and give you guys some guided journaling to do on your own time before our call in 2 weeks to kind of explore this topic yourself. So, without further ado, let's begin the presentation. I'm very proud of myself for figuring out how to use Zoom today. So, yeah. All right, let's go. So, hopefully you can see, but yeah, today we're going to be talking about body image and self-confidence. Let's get right into it. Okay. So, this is a little bit of my story and my background when it comes to body image and all of that fun stuff. So, me personally, growing up, I had a lot of extra weight on me due to using food as my comfort. During childhood, it was kind of just that thing that I ran to make me feel better, to give me that kind of, feeling good feeling, if that makes sense. I guess that's what people refer to as dopamine. But I definitely carried a lot of weight on me. And I do feel like weight is correlated to our mental health. So I have absolutely no doubt that the extra weight that I had on me during this time of my life was related to my upbringing and things that I was experiencing at the time. So it's kind of like everything's kind of interconnected. That's why I'm passionate about improving all of these different areas of our life because I think they all impact each other. So growing up, I had extra weight on me, and to give you an idea, I'm a little petite, I guess. I'm 5'5". Maybe that's average to some people. I feel like it's a petite height. And I was around 160 pounds when I was roughly 14 years old. So if you look at a BMI chart, that's like pretty much overweight. And I was only 14. So obviously, like your teenage years are just challenging for other reasons. But yeah, I definitely dealt with, feeling overweight and uncomfortable in my body. I carried that weight on and off until my young adulthood, where I learned how to maintain a steady and comfortable weight. And I, started introducing exercise and stuff like that. But yeah, this is the background that I'm coming from. I'm going to include a photo on the next slide so you can kind of see what I looked like during that time. And this is just my personal battle that I've had to deal with throughout the years, in terms of trigger warning eating disorders. I definitely used binge eating as my coping mechanism. I've also been caught in the binge and restrict cycle where and I had no idea that this was a disordered eating pattern until I got help and someone told me that this was a problem. But I would basically over exercise. And then because I exercised and I was, tired and hungry, I would overeat from being ravenously hungry. And then the next day I would do a workout to compensate for the amount of food I ate. And oftentimes, not making the right food choices. And then it just continued and continued. So I was caught in this cycle, and that cycle has come in and out of my life at different times, but it's like when it comes back, it hits with such a force that only if you've experienced it, you know what I mean. But this habit stayed with me until the present day. I have to actively choose to not reintroduce this bad habit. So I've done the inner work to work through binge eating for the most part, but if I ever have a time where I'm experiencing high stress or, a trigger of some sort, it can definitely come back and I have to work through it again. So it's just something that I've learned to work through rather than, yeah, that's my personal experience. And I'm just being completely transparent with you guys about things that I go through because I know that some of these things are universal and, you know, we all kind of go through the same thing, but we're in different bodies. So this is like my background. And I'm happy to, have you guys get to know me a little bit better so that I can explain these concepts. Okay. So on the left in this picture is me when I was around 160 pounds. And on the right was me in recent years, around 120 pounds, 130, 135. Like I kind of fluctuate my weight, 120 to 130 for the most part. But, it's a big difference when you're shorter, when you lose weight, because I feel like, I mean, this probably carries over for everybody, different body frames, but, it's just that feeling of feeling like uncomfortable in your body and feeling heavy, being out of breath. Like, if it's very uncomfortable. And on the flip side, I've also been very fit at different times in my life. So, my background, I've been in a thin and a larger body. I've also been in the gray area, fluctuating in between, and there's a big difference in how you get your results. I admit I have gotten thin at certain times in my life because of stress and anxiety, and I've also gained weight at times because of stress and anxiety, not the healthy kind, like from a toxic place. And at other times, I've lost weight because of doing the inner work and actually like learning what's at the root of the constant fluctuation and weight gain and at the underlying level, like what was causing my low body image and my low self-confidence because even like the audacity to like go toward your goals, whether it's in fitness or in any other area of your life, you have to have a baseline level of self-respect and a feeling of like capability. And when you have a low self-esteem, it just makes that like so much harder, if that makes sense. So the difference in how you get your results really matters. In this example, it's weight, but I think this even applies to, other areas of our life. So yeah, like the inner work is what's important here. And this thumbnail was taken from a video about how I talked about how to lose weight, like actual practical advice that you could use. And I'm including that in the bonus videos for this month. So definitely check that out. Okay. So looking in the mirror. So for me, needless to say, I suffered a lot. I was constantly dealing with some form of disordered eating, whether I was trying not to eat as much, low key starving myself so that I could be thinner, or I was over exercising so that I could overcompensate from my binge eating. I was always like at certain times it was just so bad and I was dealing with some form of disordered eating and that kind of stuff really wreaks havoc on your mind and on your body image. Even when it looked like I was happy and working out and in shape, in my mind I was never happy when I looked in the mirror. It was torture to feel like you work so hard and you're still unhappy, but I didn't understand what was happening was that I was truly, truly sabotaging myself. So again, a little bit more about my background. I've worked in the fitness industry for years, and I've learned from like fitness and health professionals as well as I've gotten like the psychological help to deal with like eating disorders. So I have a well-rounded perspective on how to like apply the practical information of getting in shape from what I've observed working in fitness and things that I've actually done myself. And I've also gotten like the psychological insights on why we do certain things and like literally what influences our behavior in terms of like what we eat and, everything to do with self-image. So that's where I'm coming from when I'm talking about these concepts to you guys. And just to give you some insight on how much this has influenced my life, I remember on a girls' trip, we were playing a game. It was like a card game, and you have to answer a question. I don't remember exactly what the question was, but I remember admitting to that circle of beautiful, amazing ladies that my body image was my biggest insecurity when I looked in the mirror. I think the question was like, when you look in the mirror, what's the first thing that you notice? What's most important to you, or the first thing that you criticize about yourself? And I said something about like my body image and my physique. And everybody was like surprised because like I work out, you wouldn't really be able to tell on the outside that I was struggling with this. But it wasn't coming from a healthy place. It was coming from a place of like, I need to work out or I'm not going to love myself. I'm not going to accept myself. I'm not going to feel comfortable. And that's just, your mentality matters just as much as how you physically look. And it attributes to your overall health too, more than how you just how you look. It's like it goes deeper than that. So that's why I wanted to start with body image because I know that we all deal with this in one way or another. And, for me, the body dysmorphia was real. And my relationship with food and myself needed a serious makeover. I'm not ashamed to admit it. And yeah, that's kind of like my background. And when I started realizing that I needed to kind of do that, work on myself to become more confident in my body image. So, the first thing I'll say in terms of bettering your body image, whether you're dealing with this through like being on your fitness journey or wanting to just have like personal goals on how you want to look. I know a lot of creatives and a lot of artists deal with their body image a lot because we see ourselves on camera. So even content creators probably deal with this at one time or another because we're just constantly looking at ourselves. And I remember when I was modeling, it's a bit brutal, like photographers and other people in that profession, they're not afraid or they won't hesitate to tell you if you need to lose weight and they won't coddle you. Like they'll just be like, you need to lose weight. Like you would look better if your beautiful face, honey, but you would look better if you lost a few pounds. Like I've had so many comments like that. So it can be definitely triggering in the creative field as well. But it's no matter how you got here, you know, and no matter where you're starting from, this is a good place to start in bettering your body image to accurately assess your current state. So here is a journaling prompt that I want you guys to write on and expand on and explore. Assess where you are right now. What are your current habits? What specifically would you like to change? What is holding you back from seeing progress and feeling comfortable in your skin? So, again, going back to my previous examples of the times that I was really struggling with my body image, an example response that I would have had to this question was, right now I am 10 pounds heavier than my average weight. And that was true. Um, even recently, like in the past year, I had gained like 10 pounds. And it sounds trivial, but when it impacts how you feel on an everyday basis and your confidence, you know your body the best. And this was something that really impacted me. So, everybody's different, and I encourage everyone to like not judge each other and their responses or people for like their personal fitness, nutrition, and body goals because everything is so personal. So like let's remove the judgment and make this like a judgment-free zone. This would have been my response at that time. Right now, I am 10 pounds heavier than my average weight. My current habits are just being brutally honest with myself, regularly ordering large amounts of food on DoorDash, feeling guilty, then compensating with a long workout the next day. Then I try to clean up and end up undereating and binging eventually. I never feel satisfied or comfortable with how I look, and I feel like I'm running in circles. What's holding me back from seeing progress is that I obsess a lot over what I eat and how I look, and constantly feel out of control around food. So, this was my example of a brutally honest assessment of my current state. And when you're just have that brutal honesty with yourself, then you can create change, okay? So I want you to take time today to answer this journaling prompt and really assess where you are right now and what is holding you back because only you can do that inner work for yourself, okay? Nobody else can do that for you. So that's a journaling prompt that I want you to touch on today. I'll also keep this presentation in the actual program itself in case you can't fully read everything that's on the slides. I'm not sure how this is going to translate, but I'll see that today. All right, so this is just another trigger warning, okay? That if you're experiencing any kind of obsessive feelings around food or your body dysmorphia, eating disorders, anything that impacts your day-to-day life, then it's time to be real and get the help you need. There's a role for life coaching and mentality coaching, and there's a role for therapy, and they play their roles separately and they're both necessary at different times. So the saying goes that a therapist will get you going in the race steadily, and the life coach will help you finish first. So if you have real, psychological wounds that are affecting your eating behaviors, that are causing you to have eating disorder, a deep sense of, unhappiness and low self-worth that can be attributed to any kind of trauma, for example, that's, no shame in the game. Like, get therapy, get the help that you need. If you're dealing with disordered eating, and it's taking away from the quality of your life, you are best suited to get professional help. If you can't afford professional help, your next best solution is educating yourself on types of disordered eating and the root cause behind why we adapt these behaviors. So I definitely had to basically self-educate many times when I was learning about nutrition, especially, but even, disordered eating, I had to take the time to learned that this was an actual issue, and I did need help. I didn't know that it was an issue. I would have never known that the kind of exercising I was doing was a form of binging and restricting. I did not know until I learned. So sometimes just educating yourself is a good start if you can't actually afford the therapy. And like I said, I dealt with fluctuation with my body weight and body image for years, on and off. It wasn't until I was living on my own and developed a habit of binging again that I realized I needed help, because it was something that resurfaced after years of basically being dormant, which is why I say that it comes and goes and it's triggered by different life circumstances sometimes, at least for me. So this is an example. Like, I knew I needed help when I wasn't able to stop on my own, and it lasted for months. I would have crying spells and literally could not stop the obsession with food, with how I looked. And it was like no matter what I did, how hard I tried, I was still like feeling like I was in this cycle, and I would cry. I didn't realize how much it was affecting me until I started to speak to a professional. So I got professional help from a therapist who specialized in eating disorders and gave me the support I needed. So this is just encouragement to anybody who is really dealing with disordered eating. I feel you, and don't be ashamed to get the help you need and to educate yourself on what it is that you need to do. And, this is why I really appreciate mentorship and life coaching, because there's like the information. The information is there. You can Google the answers to most of your questions, but this like deep mentality work is something that sometimes can only be shared through experience. So I feel like there's just a different lane for this kind of information. It's not just information, it's basically energy and embodiments and, you know, really, oh, I didn't know I could zoom in. That's really insightful. Anyways, any feedback on my presentations, I'll definitely appreciate that and, use it going forward. This is my first one. So, how to develop a healthy relationship with food. Look at your nutrition as a form of hygiene. The same way you care for your looks, brush your teeth in the morning, you should also care for what you're putting into your body and how much. You should place your nutrition in the same part of your brain where you're placing your basic forms of hygiene. You drink water, you brush your teeth, you make your bed, you wipe your butt when you use the bathroom, and you care for your nutrition. Like, it should be like a necessity. Practice mindful eating and portion control. This is really helpful and will like be applicable for all of your life. So it's good to start practicing, and then eventually it'll become a habit and you won't even think about it. There's a lot of evidence on how modern day processed food becomes extremely addictive. So it's really not just you. It's not just you. Okay. We all deal with this. Practicing mindfulness when you eat and reattuning to your hunger cues can set you up for success in what they call intuitive eating. Intuitive eating is how people stay in shape and have a healthy relationship with food. When you practice this, you properly size the role that food has in your life and eradicate the obsession. with what you eat. So, mindfulness and portion control and intuitive eating are all ways that we can learn to have a healthy relationship with food. If you want to learn more about that, just read up on intuitive eating and mindfulness when eating. You can find so many free resources. If I come across anything that I think is like profoundly insightful, I'll include it in this program as well for you to explore on your own time. But here is a basic rundown on how to practice mindfulness when eating. So, the number one thing that I suggest is portion control. And this just comes down to paying attention to the quantity of what you're eating. Pay attention to serving sizes. Do yourself the favor of learning how to cook meals that you enjoy and prepare food regularly. So I feel like there's a really loving thing. That's a loving thing that you can do for yourself is to, you know, make your own food because obviously there's the like logical reason when we go to restaurants and stuff, we truly don't really know what they're putting in our food and they do things to enhance the flavor that compromise our health or sodium or whatever your specific goals are. Making your own food at home can really help you even if you're just trying to learn how to practice mindfulness when you eat. Portion control and learning to make your own food can really serve you. Another way to practice mindfulness when eating is to slow down. So slow down when you're eating, right? Chew your food. Don't be in a rush to finish what's in front of you. Like, actually taste the flavors of your food. I remember when I was working through my binge eating and, there were like certain foods that I would like just not be able to control myself around and I would just have to eat like the whole box or something like this. And one of them was like chocolate. And my therapist was explaining how, if you're actually if you want a sweet, right? Have the sweet, taste the sweet, actually taste it, and you'll find that if you give yourself the moment to enjoy what the food is actually tasting like, you'll notice that like the craving gets satisfied sooner than you think, and one or two, three even should be enough. Like you don't have to go that extra mile and finish the whole box. So slowing down is a big part of mindful eating, and it definitely helped me when I was trying to regulate myself again. And of course, all of these things, when you have any kind of disordered eating, it runs very deep and body image as well. And we all have our different psychological backgrounds and childhoods that attribute why we are how we are. But nonetheless, these are universal things that can help you to practice mindfulness when you eat. And, you know, this will make you more confident and improve your body image because you'll learn to trust yourself and know in your mind that you are about what you say you will do. And if you want to improve your body image and you want to become more self confident, then practicing mindfulness when you eat will help you feel more harmonious and like you are in control of your mind and what you do to your body, which you are. Pay attention to your emotions. Be aware of what you're feeling when you eat. Try not to eat when you're stressed or highly triggered. Avoid using food as a way to cope with emotions such as boredom, anxiety, loneliness, etc. And last but not least, this should actually be first technically. Prayer. Prayer reminds you to be grateful for the food in front of you and puts you back in the present moment. So that's a mindfulness practice right there, is just being grateful for what you're eating, and prayer is the embodiment of gratitude for what you eat. And another note on body image and self-confidence, when we want to make improvements, hating yourself won't get you closer to your goals. I have a video on this I am including in the bonus section, but literally, like, you will get to your goals so much faster if you just have self-compassion and grace for yourself and don't beat yourself up for every little thing that you do wrong. Like, that will get you so much closer to your goals. Hating yourself doesn't do anything. It's just like a deterrent, or it'll make it last longer for you to get to that goal. Okay, so just like, let's stop the self-deprecation. It's not serving us. Practice body confidence when you're alone. Practice looking in the mirror and being grateful for your body, that it sustains you every day. Appreciate its resilience, even when it's a work in progress or fluctuating. Feel comfortable in your naked body. That's a good self-confidence exercise right there. That's totally, Just my 2 cents. Okay. Use positive reinforcement on yourself instead of berating yourself for how you look. Find clothes that flatter your body as it is right now. Find things to like about yourself. For example, when I'm heavier, I appreciate my curves more. When I'm thinner, I appreciate the muscle definition that I can visibly see. There is always something, no matter how you look right now, that you can learn to appreciate yourself as you are right now, not tomorrow, okay, as you are right now. You can find things that you like and make the changes you want simultaneously. You don't have to hate yourself and then make the changes. Sounds silly, but it's something that we do a lot. Things to avoid when improving your body image. One, comparison, obviously, right? So, something that I think is helpful when I'm really trying to um, not only accomplish a goal, but like literally change behaviors, which is it takes a lot of energy, okay? It really does. So, something that I had to do when I was trying to adjust my body image and become more like confident in myself was stop comparing myself to other people. Obviously, social media makes that harder. We all know. But from something that helped me, I don't know if this is controversial, I'm not trying to be, but I had to stop watching the what I eat in a day videos when trying to adjust my nutrition and my lifestyle because it's like I was looking at their what they're eating and comparing what I ate to them, when honestly, the truth is that you can kind of practice moderation and eat whatever you want and still reach your goals. Like, there's different ways to reach your goals, so it's like it's not productive to be comparing it wasn't productive for me to be comparing myself to what other people ate, like, especially because everybody has different goals and eats certain things for different reasons. So, that was an example of how I stopped comparing myself when I was trying to improve my body image. But stop stalking the girls on Instagram who you judge as being in better shape than you or having more than you. Take breaks from social media. Work with what you see in the present only. Okay. So that's how we like step out of that comparison mindset. Another thing to avoid when trying to improve your body image, diet culture. My life changed when I got rid of the whole dieting complex. Change from I need to go on a diet to implementing lifestyle and habitual changes for long lasting results. I wish that I could remember the name of this woman's YouTube channel. I think it was like Why Diets Don't Work or something, but her whole channel is literally about like unbrainwashing women from believing in the whole idea of going on a diet because like basically she was saying diets make you fat and it's like a psychological thing. She explains it so much better than I do. If I can find her name, I'll leave it in the notes. But like, just get rid of the dieting thing. Just you don't call it a diet. Just start there. Start with your words because your words have power. Don't call what you're doing a diet. Make changes that you're going to use in the long term for your lifestyle because the truth is sustainable weight loss, sustainable changes and improvements in our body image and self-confidence come from small habits that add up over time. And lastly, to avoid when improving your body image, uh, don't avoid your underlying emotional issues. So everything is so interconnected, as we all know, and the problem is never the problem. Harsh criticism of ourselves can stem from our upbringing and deep core beliefs that make us feel shameful and undeserving, which is why I say to pay attention to your feelings when you're eating, when you're looking in the mirror. Like, for example, if you look in the mirror and you're extremely critical of yourself, you can ask yourself, who else was very critical of me? Whose voice does this sound like? Because sometimes we imitate in our mind the voices of people from our past who maybe have criticized us or triggered us to the point where it became imprinted on our mentality and we perpetrate that on ourselves. The subconscious is tricky. Like, we play these kinds of games on ourselves all the time. So definitely do not avoid your emotions. Feel them as they come up, even if they're negative, work through them, address them, and move forward. Put your crown on, put your crown back on. Another note about body image and self confidence, shape shifting your identity. So, anytime you're trying to accomplish a goal, in this case, improving your body image and your self confidence, it's a way, it's helpful to learn to make it fun instead of like this dreadful thing. So, I like to play around with this idea that, when I'm working on my goals in terms of my body and my physical appearance, how I feel, I'm shape shifting my identity. And that's just fun. Like, I just like that idea. I don't know, let me know if you guys can relate. But what I want to say is that you can shapeshift your physical identity with your body. If you want a lean model look, there's a way to get that frame. Obviously, there are limitations. We all have our own different body frames, but for the most part, we there are ways to like manipulate your physique through exercise and nutrition. If you want to be fit with muscle definition, there's a way to do that. If you want to gain weight and embrace your curves, there's a way. If you want to maintain your look, there's a way. So you can literally shapeshift and choose your identity based on how your body looks. So that's just a fun and creative way to reframe body image and self-confidence is realize that you can literally like look however you want to look for whatever your reasons are. Make the changes you're able to make, decide on a plan to get yourself there, and start today, not tomorrow. Okay. And the person you become when you start making these lifestyle changes is somebody who's changed their identity. Okay. When I started working out and really getting like in love with fitness, I became a fit girl. Like I became a girl that works out, that loves working out. That low key became like my whole personality for different times in my life. But my whole identity changed. It was not just one thing. I wasn't like, okay, I'm in and out of the gym. I'm just gonna do this to get my result and then I'm done. No, I literally changed my entire life and I changed my identity into somebody who's athletic, and into fitness. Another note on shape-shifting your identity, like I said in the beginning, romanticize the changes you want to make and don't let it become a burden. Remain inspired. Okay. Some ways to remain inspired. Pinterest, obviously, community support groups, motivating content like this program and like, you know, videos that I and other creators on YouTube make are ways that you can stay motivated. So do what you have to do to romanticize the process of creating the changes that you want to make. And of course, this applies to body image as well. Remember, you will okay, listen up. This might be the key of this whole presentation on body image and self-confidence. Remember, you will always be you. While photos and inspiration is helpful, the goal is to look the best that you can look in your own body, depending on your unique and beautiful one-of-a-kind frame. Your results in body composition in general will vary. You will never look exactly like someone else. So learn to use inspiration in a healthy way and not against yourself. Like, do not beat yourself up because you're not looking like a Victoria's Secret model. Okay. Compare yourself to how you looked before, how you look now, how you felt before, how you feel now, how you thought before, how you think now. Okay. Those are things that will stay with you for a lifetime. And very important, clarity. This is another journaling exercise that you should reflect on today. Be clear on how you want to look and perceive yourself. If you are unhappy with your current body image, ask yourself, what do you want to change and why? Become super clear on what it is that you want to change and why. Understand that women go through different phases of life and weight fluctuation is a natural part of life. Stay within a comfortable maintenance zone and adjust yourself accordingly. Once you are at a comfortable weight, don't allow yourself to completely let go. This is just like one of those life hack things. So once you do that, there's no more quick weight loss schemes for a special occasion. We want our confidence in our body image to be robust and not fleeting. So once you attain your goal, whatever that is for you, try to maintain it. Don't ever give yourself permission to completely let go. Like I'm saying completely let go, not asking you to not let go once in a while and, do your thing, but do not completely let go. Like if you have had rapid weight gain at any point in your life, then you understand that you just completely let go. You just completely stopped caring to allow yourself to gain that much. It just is what it is. That's a harsh truth. I know it's hard to hear, but again, it's about accountability. Okay. So don't ever completely let yourself go. This is the quickest way to become like, not confident in yourself and to have that, deprecating voice in our minds about our body image. So, You want your confidence in yourself and your body image to be robust and not fleeting. So just do yourself the loving favor of never completely letting go. And, of course, mental health plays a role in body image and self confidence. So let's work on improving our mental health. Okay. Like, we obviously need to do this. These are some extra ways to improve your mental health in terms of your body image and self confidence. Practice acceptance with where your body is right now. And I want you to journal, make a list of 5 things you love about your body right now. Okay. Another way to improve your mental health, wear fitted clothes for your unique body shape. I can't tell you how many times I've even myself or even observed other women like trying on clothes at a store and then just like saying the meanest things to themselves, like, oh, well, I'm fat, or, I've heard just like the craziest things. And I'm also guilty of this and speaking negatively to myself if the clothes don't fit me the way that I want to. But the truth is that clothes are made for you. You're not made for the clothes. So you need to find clothes that shape your body, your unique body frame. Like, and you have to accept the uniqueness of your body. It's not a mistake. You were designed that way. You're born that way. You're beautiful the way you are. Okay. Like, this is the message. Focus also on how you feel and not just how you look. So the way we feel, obviously, inside affects our look. And just think about your posture. When you're not feeling good and you're sad or you're depressed or you're worried, how is our posture? When we're in the street, we're looking down, we're a little crouched over, we don't want anybody to see us. That's telling of your mood versus when you're feeling confident, naturally you just stand up taller. You just have that like swag about you, okay? And that all comes from the inside. And I want to share a funny saying with you guys that hopefully will help your mental health with your body image, but it's for every butt shape, there is a person that likes that butt shape, okay? So that's just the funny, quirky way of saying that beauty standards are absolutely imaginary and there's a match for everyone. And, there's a person that likes your unique look. So don't ever change how you look in order to like please someone else or like fit imaginary beauty standards because they're fleeting as well. And it's just like, so telling how the trends change over time. Why change yourself for the trend? Like, be the trend, embrace your natural beauty. Okay, I promise that you have it, and I promise that for your butt shape, there's somebody that likes that butt shape. Okay, all right. So, proof that beauty standards are imaginary. If you want a good book recommendation on why beauty standards are imaginary, this is like such an interesting book. Oh my gosh. Don't become your own worst enemy. It's your perception that decides if you are beautiful, not the world. So this book is called Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. I definitely recommend it. It's probably one of the first books I read when I was starting to be like on my own personal development journey. And it's written by a plastic surgeon who basically writes a bunch of case studies and things that he observed in people who get plastic surgery, how affect their it doesn't eliminate basically what happened to them psychologically that makes them think they're not beautiful, in other words. But yeah, this is coming from a plastic surgeon, somebody who literally witnesses day in and day out people, wanting to change their appearance. And there's a lot of psychology and self-esteem that goes into that. That totally blew my mind. So if you want proof that beauty standards are imaginary and that you shouldn't allow the world to tell you what's beautiful and what's not, this book is a good place to start. And fun fact, when I was working as a lifeguard and I was reading this book, this lady told me this was the first book she read when she came to America. And she was beautiful. So I feel like this book is pretty popular. If you haven't read it, definitely check it out. A note on body dysmorphia. Let's talk about it. Trigger warning, body image, and self-confidence. Okay, how can we talk about this and not talk about body dysmorphia? So here's my personal take on body dysmorphia. Eating disorders and body image issues are as real a disease as any other mental illness. And if you have food noise, body dysmorphia, or any other kind of obsession, please understand that there is a distortion taking place on your eyes and mind. Pray for relief for any kind of obsession and unhappiness with your body, because there are spiritual reasons for why this happens sometimes. And the reason it feels so nagging and stubborn to get rid of is because, there is a spiritual aspect to body dysmorphia. And, it makes you see things that aren't there. And that's spiritual. That's my opinion. There is hope for you to feel confident and safe in your body again through deconditioning your mind of imaginary beauty standards, making changes where you need to, and practicing self acceptance. Okay, that's my note on body dysmorphia. I've experienced it, I know how real it is, and I have reason to believe that there is a spiritual aspect. So pray for relief and obviously get the help that you might need if you do. Okay, this is your homework from this call. For the next time you have low body confidence or anything around your body image or your self confidence comes up regarding how you look, it's going to happen. Okay. This is real life. This is not some fantasy land. This is what happens sometimes. Journal. This is so helpful. Okay. Please, please whip out your journal and really take the time to do that self reflection work. Okay. This is going to help you retrain your mind. What is the distortion my mind is creating about my body right now? Is this the absolute truth? What is the new empowering truth that I choose to believe now? Okay, give yourself time, set aside time to write about this the next time you get triggered about your body image. Next, again, journal. Write a list of 5 affirmations that will motivate you towards your goals and make you feel more confident. One of my personal favorites in terms of affirming body image is I am deserving of living in my dream body. Okay, because a lot of the times we sabotage ourselves because there is an element of unworthiness there. That's just the truth. And lastly, journal. What will it take for me to allow myself to feel beautiful? How can I appreciate my body right now exactly as it is? Okay, so I will keep all of these journaling prompts in the notes below as well and the slides for your reference if you want to look at them on your own time. But these journaling prompts are things that have personally helped me do that self reflection work to get to a place where it doesn't matter what anybody says, I'm truly confident. Okay. So I truly hope that you take the time and take a journal, get yourself a cute one, get yourself in the mood, in the vibes, and reflect on where you want to improve within your body image and self confidence using this information, using other things you learn, and using these guided journaling practices. So I hope you enjoyed the first call of the More Than Amused membership program. Our theme for the month, as you can see in the course outline, is body image, fitness, and nutrition. So today was all about that mental work in improving your body image. And our next call will be about fitness and nutrition. I'll dive more into my background into actual physical things you can do to make a personalized fitness plan for yourself and decide on what you want to make your nutrition plan be as well, because we all have different goals. So that call is the one that is upcoming. In the meantime, take the time to journal and reflect on everything that we learned today. Check out the bonus videos that I left for you and any helpful resources I will also be leaving in the program. Of course, any questions, you can always reach out to me and I'll include it in our next call. Yeah, first call for the More Than Amused membership program done. And I can't wait to dive into all of these different areas of our life throughout the next 12 months. Thank you so much for being a member and goodbye. See you next time.